Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Burnout, engaging your employees and transforming company culture. I am so excited to announce that our book, Expanding Your Brilliance, is now live and we are best-selling authors. So, if you have not gotten your copy, go on Amazon. There's an ebook version and a paperback, and it is going to help you if you are a mom who works, a mom in business, to help you scale without burnout or overwhelm. So I had to say that first and foremost. I am really looking forward to sharing about this topic today because I know that so many leaders, teams, organizations are looking for practical evidence-based strategies, not just things that we can talk about, but things that we can actually implement to help your organization, company, business to engage your employees. And it doesn't have to be buying a ping pong table or doing an escape room. I'm going to be sharing with you a presentation today that will help empower and engage your employees to invite in a different energy, a different culture that will allow for more productivity, peace, and profitability. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And then I'm going to come back in and engage with you if you are watching live with me. So I will come back, and if you're watching the replay, come through and answer any questions that you might have. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so let's get that out of here. Okay, here we go. And I am just going to double check myself that I am live and recording on LinkedIn. Let me just double check this. And let me make sure that I am seeing my screen here. Okay, just give me one quick second. Okay, awesome. So I have experienced burnout, so I can appreciate what it's like to be in an organization, a company, be an employee that is burnt out and disconnected. So I'm coming from that lens, and I'm going to share a little bit more about my experience and on both sides, right? As an employee, but also now as somebody who goes into companies and helps with burnout prevention, employee engagement, and retention. And so I want to actually start here with my story. So at age 5, as old as I was at the time to be able to hold a broom, I started sweeping floors at my dad's pharmacy. And I know the culture. I've worked in so many different pharmacies before. This presentation is going to help whether you are a pharmacy or not. This applies to all businesses. But I've heard from so many different of, clients that I've worked with in a lot of the different businesses that I've helped, that much of the culture that's embedded in pharmacy also translates to other areas of business. So my dad was an independent pharmacy owner for 32 years. He actually owned a bar, a sneaker store, and had another pharmacy. So I grew up around this, about around entrepreneurship. This is my dad with my daughter Lindsay. You're going to see my entire family in this presentation because I want you to be able to connect with the fact that I really get it. If you are a leader, somebody that's wanting to engage your employees. Like I said, I've been on both sides of the coin here. And my goal through this presentation is to give you tangible takeaways. And one thing that I did want to let you know is at the very end of this presentation, I'm going to be giving you my Engage to Excel PDF. So I will prompt you at the end. Don't worry about taking copious notes here. There's going to be a recording up on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And I'm going to be helping you in this Engage to Excel PDF to elevate and transform your workplace culture, identify areas of improvement for maybe where some of the gaps are in your current infrastructure, and then giving you 40 simple, effective ideas. Again, these are evidence-based things that I'm going to be going through in this presentation, and we're going to seal it all up with a bow at the end. So make sure you stay till the end because I've got some really exciting things here. So Now that you've learned a little bit about me and my history, and like I said, I've worked at so many different pharmacies before, and I've been a full-time entrepreneur for about 6 years now. I know that what I know about you is you're here to empower your employees. You don't want this process to be costly or complicated, and you're ready to invest the time, energy, and resources into your business, into your team to see the fruits of your labor. So I am curious, and I might actually toggle back here because I want to engage with you on this presentation. What type of company culture would you like to have? So if you're watching the replay, maybe you're answering this for yourself, put it in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, put it in the comments here because I'm going to come back and I want to hear from you. I'm giving you kind of a bank of ideas here. If you could walk into work every day, what type of energy would you like to feel? What kind of company culture would you like to create for your business? So maybe the top two you pick from here. And I want you to ask yourself, honestly, is that the current reality of your company? And if it's not, then let's bridge the gap together today. And I want you to start to think of and adapt some of these new concepts that I'm talking about here that will help you bridge from where you are to where you want to be. So let me just check again and make sure if anybody's watching. Oh, I see some people watching here with me. So let me know. I have my phone pulled up. What kind of culture, or if you're an employee, what kind of culture would you love to walk into? So maybe for you, it's like energizing and respectful, or forward thinking and engaging. There's no right or wrong answer here. You get to decide. And if you're a leader and you're a manager or somebody that manages a team, this is an important question. If you are an entrepreneur and you have, like, I have a team of people that I work with, you are the CEO. So, what energy are you bringing to your business, to your company? That's what we're diving into today. The energy of the company plus the organizational environment equals engagement. So, the leadership and the energy that those people bring plus the environment equal the engagement. And I'll describe throughout this presentation exactly what I mean by that. So the leaders that show up every day and pour in to their people, I'm going to share with you some key ways that you can start showing up with more confidence, more engagement to then create the ripple effect of exactly what kind of company culture you want to create. And then the environment is, what are we walking into every day? Are there dim lights? Are there fluorescent light bulbs? Do we have fresh air? Do we have the pictures of our family on our desk? All of those things create the foundation of an engaged workplace, and that's how we begin transforming company culture. So why even focus on this? Why focus on employee engagement? We know that when employees are happy, when they're more engaged, they care more. They're going to be taking care of equipment better. They're going to be putting everything that they have into their job. And there's a key reduction in overall cost. So engagement leads to lower turnover rates, less absenteeism. Again, they're going to be taking care of their supplies, and they're going to put more of themselves into their work. Highly engaged employees are more focused. And, again, this is related more to pharmacy. So, fewer dispensing errors, ensuring the safety of patients. But this goes across all industries, whether it's IT, automotive, whatever it might be, insurance. When someone brings their whole self to work and they're confident and engaged and they love what they do, what kind of results do you think they're going to create? They're going to get better sales. They're going to increase the bottom line. They're going to be more productive. Engagement studies have shown that when employees show up this way, they increase their productivity by 21%. So increased profitability. Engaged employees are more motivated and efficient. We're going to talk about that today, what that actually looks like. The impact on reputation. So we're looking at revenue, reputation, right? These R's, reputation and community trust. So when people care more, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to say to their spouse, oh, yeah, XYZ company is a great company to work for. It builds the reputation and community trust. And positive word of mouth referrals leads to more customers, fosters long-term growth. It's a domino effect. And studies show, I already just alluded to this, that organizations with engaged employees see up to a 21% increase in profitability. Engaged healthcare workers are 3.5 times more likely to deliver quality patient care. So these are actual studies and hard data that I'm alluding to here. So how can you start to effectively engage some of your employees? Employees are most engaged when they feel safe. So you'll hear a lot of, in company culture and employee engagement conversations, this theme of psychological safety. And that's what we're going to really talk about today. The things that you can provide your team with go beyond, like I said, ping pong tables, escape rooms, even raises. It comes down to these foundational, intangible things that we're going to dive into. So Dr. Stephen Porges developed the polyvagal theory, which explains how our nervous system responds to safety cues and threat in our environment. So it's something called neuroception. We are always scanning the environment wherever we go subconsciously to say to ourselves, okay, are we safe here? Does this feel safe when I walk into the door of my office, of my organization, of my business? And again, we're doing all of this under the radar, and it's on a very subconscious level. And a lot of times, we're not even realizing that we're in these different states, these fight, flight, freeze, or shutdown states. So I want to give you a practical example of what this looks like. And we're going to go through a quick visualization together. So I want you to close your eyes with me here and just imagine that you are in your favorite car. It could be or whatever. Imagine that there's no, like, sky's the limit. You could pick whatever car you want, a Jaguar, Ferrari, whatever your go-to car is. And you're driving along with your favorite person in the passenger seat. You're in a sunny vacation destination, Mexico, Aruba, you pick the place. The sun is beating on your face. You feel the wind in your hair, if you have hair. And yeah, life is just good, right? You're on your way to the beach. Everything's going great. And then all of a sudden in your rearview mirror, you see a cop car. What are your automatic thoughts? Like, am I about to get pulled over? Oh no, right? There's a threat. So there's a threat by you seeing this cop car, and your mind sees and perceives from past experiences. If you've been pulled over before, if somebody else has been pulled over before and you've been in the car with them, there's a threat. Then you see their lights go on and they're pulling you over. That would be danger. So this is what's happening in this polyvagal theory. So when I had you visualize being in the car, going to your vacation destination, that's called ventral vagal, or the zone of safety. That's where we're calm, we're connected, we feel confident. See, this is where engagement lives, in this ventral vagal state. And I'm going to break this down into very easy terms. The sympathetic is that threat, right? You saw the cop come behind you, so you're in fight or flight mode. So if the person next to you could be like, okay, who was the first president? They could ask you that, and you'd be like, I don't know, Taylor Swift, right? Like, you're not thinking straight because you're in fight or flight. Then eventually, if you see, I'll make this a little bit bigger here. Try again. Uh-oh, there we go. Then as you go down this polyvagal ladder, that's when you see burnout at the very bottom here. So what's happening is so many of us are juggling so many things. You're thinking about your finances, you're thinking about your kids and getting to them to soccer, you've got your job, your health, going to the gym, right? All of these different things that we're juggling at any one time. And that is part of what makes us go down this ladder to burnout. Part of what we can start doing, and I'm going to teach you some ways to start getting back to this psychological safety so you can engage with your team, so you can be productive, you can move forward in actually achieving these business goals that you have. It comes down to multiple different things, like we talked about, the energy of the leadership as well as the environment. So we're going to control what we can control, because we know that there are just certain things in life, like our kids' soccer, that we can't just say, okay, we can't do that. So I'm going to teach you some strategies here, evidence-based tools that are to help regulate your nervous system to show up as a powerful leader, so that you can then set the tone for your employees. If you're an employee, this is going to help give you an edge to have the confidence and the connection to ask for a raise, to ask for different, maybe a project that you really want to do. When we're in fight or flight, we're not thinking clearly. Our prefrontal cortex is completely offline, so we're not able to think critically, to come up with solutions and problem solve. So this is how these different states, I'm going to break it down here, how they feel. I kind of alluded to this already with the metaphor of the car getting pulled over by the cop, and then the danger at the very bottom is like, oh my gosh, I'm actually getting pulled over right now. This is what this feels like to in each of these states. So you'll probably find yourself going to one of these different states here. And you can tell by the way that you feel. So sympathetic, that fight or flight, typically people go to anxious, agitated, they feel irritable, maybe even anger, and everything feels very urgent in this portion of the polyvagal ladder. Risk of burnout, tension in the teams, a lot of fear-based leadership, and again, there's a lot of pressure. So it could even be internal pressure. Like, I know a lot of high achieving people tend to put a lot of pressure on themselves, and then they go into this sympathetic mode without even realizing it. Freeze is a blended state, so I didn't list that here, but that's almost where, you find yourself overthinking a lot, procrastinating, waiting until the very last minute to take action on something, and as a result, you never move forward. So freeze is kind of exactly like it sounds. There's one foot on the gas and you really want to meet that deadline, but then at the same time, there's some kind of fear there or underlying nervous system response that has a brake. So it's like you're pressing the gas and the brake at the same time and you don't move at all. Then there's dorsal vagal or shutdown, where you're completely disengaged. You can't answer any emails. You just go to complete shutdown. This is where you'll see a high level of absenteeism, quiet quitting. You've heard of that before, and very low morale. So where do you fall on this ladder? As I take a little drink. And that there's no right or wrong, because we all go in to different states throughout the day, but we typically have a propensity for going to one over the other. Some people go straight to dorsal vagal and they go to shutdown. I tend to go more towards like the anxiety and that sympathetic mode. And I know, after doing nervous system work for so many years, how to get myself back up into that zone of safety. So I am curious. I see some people joining, but you guys are quiet. So I want to hear from you. Talk about engaging here. I'm engaging you here. So I want to actually do a quick nervous system practice with you. So if you're feeling, however you're feeling today, if you're feeling maybe in that sympathetic mode where you can't focus and you want to, you know that you have a lot of things to do and there's a lot on your plate, I want you to just take a moment with me here, and I want you to put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. We're going to do a very simple exercise. So I'm going to count to 7, and you're going to just put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And obviously, I can't count it out and do the exercise with you. So Go ahead and put your tongue to the roof of your mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, just letting your tongue rest and just seeing if there's any little shift in how you're holding your body. Maybe your shoulders went down and depressed a little bit and relaxed. Maybe you feel a deeper breathing, even if it's a 1% shift in how you're holding yourself. Another thing that you can do is just slowly start to reorient your body here. So just even moving your neck and your eyes and just noticing, like turning your head to the right and noticing something in the room. Something that's catching your attention. It could be something colorful or a picture of your child. Find something that brings a smile to your face. And you might find yourself taking a deeper breath, just noticing the colors of that thing, the edges of it, the texture, the outline, and then maybe shifting to the left side of the room and doing the same exact thing. And just seeing if there's a shift, even a 1% shift. You're just orienting your eyes to focus on something that brings a sense of joy or safety to you. These are two very simple nervous system exercises that you can do, or that you can even teach your team to do throughout the day. This will bring in a sense of ease and safety. You can even have on the background of your computer screen something that brings you joy, like a picture of your kids. This is how you start setting up your environment. Remember, I said it's the energy of the leadership plus the environment. This is the environmental piece. So when we're in fight or flight, we're protecting ourselves, right? We're defending ourselves in some way. And so your eyes are fixated forward. So if you start shifting your eyes either to the right or to the left, and there's so many different practices I could teach here, these are two simple ones. The tongue exercise is activating the vagus nerve, which is the rest and digest, the parasympathetic. Sympathetic is very, like I said, urgent and rushed. And so you're applying a little bit of that break, the rest and digest break by doing the tongue exercise, literally 7 to 10 seconds. That's all it takes. When someone feels safe and engaged, they're in that zone of safety. They are more productive. They're strategic. They're able to think clearly. Taylor Swift is not the first president, right? Like I said before, you're not thinking straight. I remember, my husband just got into an accident last week or a couple weeks ago, and the cop was telling me something, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, what did he say? I looked to Eric. I said, I didn't pick up on any of that because I was so in fight or flight. So this is what's happening every single day. We're not realizing that a lot of us go in and out of these different states. And it's important to understand that your employees have this going on too. So you can probably see, like I can tell in my employees as well, there are certain ones of them that, I can tell when they're in more of that dorsal vagal and shutdown. And so I can help them by, some of the things that I'm going to share with you here today. So this psychological safety drives results. That's why we're talking about it. It's not just this woo-woo, nervous system work that has not been studied. This has been studied. Deloitte defines belonging as workers feeling comfortable, connected, and feeling like they contribute, feeling included, valued, and accepted. Companies that foster this type of workplace culture are twice as likely to meet or exceed financial targets, 3 times as likely to be high performing, wow, and 8 times as likely to achieve better business outcomes. This is a needle mover. So we can't be engaged when we're in fight or flight, right? We have to be able to have the capacity to think critically, to be productive. And so these are some things, these are tangible things that you can do to support either yourself, or if you're an employee, or if you're a leader, how to support your team. So addressing their physical needs. Encourage them to take regular breaks, even little micro breaks like standing up instead of sitting down, or if you're standing, sitting every 20 to 30 minutes, even literally looking away from the computer. We can even do this right now. Actually, we did a couple minutes ago, looking away from the computer, going and saying, okay, do I need a water? Do I need a snack? When we're in these states of fight or flight, freeze or shutdown, we're oftentimes not addressing these physical needs that we have. You can, as a business owner, you can provide a dedicated space for rest or mindfulness. You can have healthy food and snacks available. I actually did this for my husband. Since he works from home, I created a little basket for him with, protein, high protein snacks, some pretzels, some different things, because he's so busy down there. And I always say to him, make sure you take your little breaks. You can set an alarm on your phone, whatever you need to do. Take care of yourself, because your nervous system is comprised of meeting your physical needs, meeting your emotional needs, all of the things that I'm going to talk about here. Modeling a non-punitive environment. Okay, so if something happens, there's a misstep, there's an error, how do you, as the leader, bring the team members together and say, okay, how can we prevent this from happening? It happened. We can't change that. But this is what I've done in the past, right? Being vulnerable about past challenges and how you've overcome them. I think that's so key. And that opens the door for psychological safety. So I talked about some of the physical things, the physical needs, emotional needs, now environmental needs. And this is where I'm going to bring in scientific evidence from supportive design. Supportive design has actually been studied in healthcare settings, and things as simple as, even a doctor's office, having a clear pathway for when the patient walks in the door, they know what they're doing, they know where to go, they know what to do. It helps the brain have more context. If you want to help your employees or you want to help people feel safe, it comes down to 3 C's: context, choice, and connection. Giving people choices. So even I know Calvin Sales, you were going to come on. I don't know if you're one of the ones that came on with me here, but Calvin's in insurance, or he was. So you can tell your potential clients, hey, here are some choices, and I'm recommending this because, right? You're giving them context. This, based upon what you're telling me, this is what I would recommend for you. Something as simple as that is going to help your client feel safe with taking that recommendation. If you are a leader and you have to, a manager, and you have to tell your employees something, give them context. Hey, I need you to do this because this. Even as a parent, right? Lindsay can't talk yet, but I'm going to be saying, I need you to clean up the dishes because I want to teach you how to be independent and how to help mommy take care of this house. Simple things like that. And then it's like, oh, okay. Even when I prompted you before with taking you through that quick exercise, I told you this is going to take 7 seconds. It gave your brain context to understand, oh, okay, this is how long this is going to take me. So something as simple as giving your employees context, choice, connection. Do they need to go take a quick break and connect with their spouse or connect with a fellow employee to say, hey, I had this problem. What can you help me with here? Can you, brainstorm with me? Especially if you work from home, if you are a person like me, I'm an entrepreneur. Sometimes we need that connection and to go out and network, or to jump on a quick Zoom call with a colleague or a friend. Anyway, back to supportive design. Setting up the environment at your place of work will help create that sense of safety. So companies that prioritize workplace wellness see a 28% reduction in sick days, 58% decrease in absenteeism by setting up the office with light colors or an open layout, or having employees be able to hang pictures of their loved ones. Having these different supportive design elements, it shows. Here's the data right here. And I talked about this already, right? The 3 C's of choice, context, connection. We talked about this as well, modeling vulnerability and authenticity. So sharing, that's how we connect. We need to know that it's safe to come to our manager, to our boss, to whoever it is, to say, hey, I'm having this issue. Can you help me? Encouraging open communication. That's how you start transforming company culture, is through these little micro shifts. And I see some people here. I would love to see, come on, give me some love, give me some comments here so I know what is resonating here. Creating physical safety, setting clear boundaries, ensuring a harassment-free environment so people come to work feeling safe, feeling acknowledged, supporting mental health initiatives. Can you add different benefits to your employees' package for the, their health package, whatever that looks like. These are things that should not be overlooked. They are a game changer. They are a needle mover, however you want to say it. It leads to employee wellness and well-being. It leads to a sense of them feeling appreciated, and then that relationship reciprocates. Then they care. Then they know that you truly care about them. Okay, so how do you be the organization, the business that people want to work for, that has a high level of revenue, reputation, retention? Invest your energy, your attention, your appreciation in your employees. So how are you currently appreciating and investing? I'm curious. So I want to hear, even if you are watching the replay, write it in the comments here. How are you currently appreciating them? Doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It could be a simple check-in. I'll check in with my employees once a week individually and say, hey, how are you feeling? Hey, oh, this is what's happening with your son. How's that going for you? It's a little quick 5-10 minute conversation, other than just business, checking in. You can even have like a water cooler where everybody comes together. And I'm going to be sharing about that here with my husband because that's what he does. And I love that. His company checks in with everybody. You can take 10 minutes every week and write a thoughtful thank you card. And I want you to think about expressing genuine positive feelings. So there's 3 levels of a compliment, according to Dale Carnegie. It's an object, like, hey, great new car, Steve, I love that. An award or accolade. So, hey, congrats on the promotion. Or 3, character. This is the most impactful compliment that you can give someone when you really see them and you can appreciate them. I promise you it is going to be worth more than money. It is going to be worth more than anything to them. So take intentional time. Send a quick email. Hey, great job on that presentation, Bill. I don't know, I'm making up names here. You will transform company culture when appreciation replaces criticism, just like a marriage, just like any relationship. Companies that invest in well-being programs in general see an average return on investment of $3.27 for every dollar spent. So this pays off. When you invest, you will recoup. Here's my other here's my other family member here. So just to make you smile, to create that sense of safety, that sense of lightness. So you can do these fun little things to elevate the energy, to transform company culture. Share pictures of your pets. Have this be something that you do first thing in the morning. Hey, before we get started on this meeting where we're talking about all of these technical things, let's talk about our pets first. What are you excited? What are you celebrating? Something as simple as that, I promise, will put a smile on their face. Random acts of coffee. So you can arrange, surprise coffee, or add like little tea bags for your employees and put it on their desk. Again, this doesn't have to be expensive. Periodically bring in a speaker. I'm here to help with wellness efforts, burnout prevention, teaching them stress management techniques, things like, that we're talking about in this presentation. Create a healthy snack bar. Remember, we talked about meeting those physical needs, physical, emotional, environmental. Wrap around wellness for your employees to really show them that you care. So how has this impacted businesses that I've worked with? I've worked with tons of pharmacies, tons of individuals. I wanted to highlight this case study. This is Dr. Dan. So he's actually my husband's chiropractor. And one of the things that they were struggling with was around employee engagement and really helping to delegate different tasks for marketing. My recommendation was to have fun and start playing hot potato. So at their team huddles, they started doing this. And I said to them, okay, come up with different themes of marketing and, newsletter content and all that. So they did this little game, and whoever had the lowest points had to clean the bathroom. So they made it fun. They had a great time. It boosted morale, engaged their employees. They came up with a lot of different ideas, and their productivity increased by 20%. So again, right in line with the study that I was talking about before. So this is exactly how I help organizations transform company culture. What we talked about today, honestly, was just the surface level of the deeper work that I would come in and do. I'm just giving you little tips and tricks here of evidence-based strategies that will help your employees be more engaged, increase productivity, decrease levels of burnout, and increase the bottom line. So this is exactly what this looks like, this step-by-step process. So I would come into your business and identify stressors. What are the biggest areas of opportunity to look at? Like, where are your employees most stressed out? How can we look at how, what things can we optimize here? What inefficiencies currently exist? Maybe conducting some surveys to see, where are the gaps in the well-being and engagement. So we would look at understanding an overall picture of the predominant stressors that your employees or your team is going through. And I would go through that with them and with you and assess that. Then we would streamline and optimize. So task delegation, looking at operating more efficiently, um, looking at workflow, uncovering more profits, some areas for opportunity, and then recommending specific things, whether that's physical, emotional, or environmental, that will help turn the needle to increase productivity, retention, revenue, reputation, and then actually implementing this plan. So we assess, we come up with the plan, and then we implement it. It could be bringing me in for some trainings for them on how to deal with stress during the day and utilizing these nervous system techniques that I taught you today and that I shared with you. Again, this is literally the surface of everything that we can go into. So, tangible action steps to improve morale, change and transform the company culture, and prevent burnout. So, I have two spots open for the organization that is ready to increase productivity, engagement, profitability, decrease disengagement, burnout, and transform your company culture, because we all know that all of these things cost money. Employee disengagement, absenteeism, hiring and training new staff, an average of $1,200 it costs, and then if you have a high turnover rate, that's multiplied. So that's what I can come into your organization, your business, or even provide a talk like this. If you love this talk and you would love for me to come into your organization to provide a tangible blueprint for burnout recovery, and you're seeing that high rate of disengagement, burnout, employee turnover rate, I'd love to come in and help you. So you would get these deliverables, you would get a customized recovery blueprint, a checklist, and additional follow-up support to make sure that this is not only something that is a one-time thing, but that keeps that you transform your company culture for the long haul. So I'm going to be dropping in the chat. I can't do it now because I'm here on the, on the computer, but I'm going to be dropping a wait list form. So if you want to take advantage of these two spots that I have open, one of the two spots, or if you'd like me to come in and provide this presentation for your organization, you can either fill out the waitlist form or just DM me and we can chat about what makes sense for us to move forward so that you can transform your workplace culture. And the last thing that I will say, actually, I have a couple more things before we finish up here, is I want to know, and it's tough because I know there are people watching, but I don't see any comments showing up. This is how you're going to be able to get that Engage to Excel PDF that I had told you about in the very beginning. So if you found value from this talk and you're like, "Pff, my mind is blown. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that more people aren't talking about this," then I'd love to get your feedback. What you're going to do is just take out your phone, scan the QR code. It's going to be a quick 2-minute survey, and you'll follow the prompts along to answer the survey. Like I said, it'll take 2 quick minutes. And then at the end, you'll get my Engage to Excel PDF. So I'm just going to give you a minute here to provide me feedback, because my goal is to reach as many people as possible and as many businesses and organizations with this game changing foundational work that I know can really help transform company culture, engage employees, and transform the trajectory of not just increasing productivity and profitability, but also inviting in more peace and psychological safety into the workplace. So go ahead and fill that out, and then I'm going to end with a powerful takeaway as I check for the comments here. And if you have to, you can come back to this. I might even post a screenshot here. I can post a screenshot too, just for the sake of time. Okay. Love this presentation. Want to bring this work to your workplace? Let's talk and we'll connect. I heard my Long Island accent come out just now. Okay. So if you want to elevate and transform your workplace culture, it's the energy of the leadership plus the environment, meeting your employees' physical, emotional, environmental needs, looking at this deeper nervous system work that I talked about today and bringing that into your company. So it's not just about the things that you're doing on a daily basis to keep your business profitable. It's also about the very foundation of your business, right? The employees. Are you appreciating them? Are you investing in them and pouring energy, effort, attention into them? Because that is going to pay off in dividends. So appreciate them daily, see more ideas in that Engage to Excel PDF, help them feel connected, take a genuine interest in them, cultivate belonging and connection. There's so many different ways that you can do that. Team building activities, fostering a safe environment. We went over through some of this today. And I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Please let me know if you have questions. Post them in the comments here. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube as well. So share this, send this presentation to your boss, to other employees. Let me know how I can be of service to you. And I will see you on the next workshop. Take care.